Well, the attendance has been great. I think that everybody who has come to our games has had a really good time. Clearly, I don't think anybody was happy with the result on the field, but I think, the reality, everybody kind of understands that this is the first year these football players that we have representing ETSU, this is their first opportunity to play college football, and it's a big jump. So I think with that in mind, people really understand that this is a long-term process. We're really trying to build something for the future, and while we want to win games, that clearly isn't the long-term strategy. We want to build this the right way, and I think we're doing that. We've been close. We just haven't made the plays that we need to in crucial situations to win games. But I think it's been learning, and I think from the standpoint of the experience of our fans, I think the tailgating's been great. I think just the environment for the entire game has been something that people have really enjoyed. A lot of people have told me that compared to the games that used to be played in the Dome, that this is the difference between daylight and darkness, that just the enjoyable part of it. And as you go there and walking through the tailgating areas, you just see people having a good time. A lot of people are there with family, some are there with friends, some are there with former classmates who have come back, others are just new friends that they've made. So I think just from a social standpoint, it's really been great for our fans. It's been great for this whole Northeast Tennessee region that people have an opportunity to go to a college football game and enjoy all the spectacle that goes with college football. So while the result on the field hadn't been what we had hoped it would be, I think the rest of it has been really good, and there's only brighter days ahead for ETSU football. Yeah, the question about football scholarships, we can actually award a total of 63, and 85 players can make up that 63. So unlike FBS football, where there's 85 and each scholarship counts as one, we are an equivalency sport, so you can break those 63 down to 85 bodies. Right now, I think we're probably, I'm not sure exactly where we are, we're probably at 35, 36, 37, something like that. By next year, we hope to get to 57. There's a reason for that. 57 would give us clearly, 20 new players, so that's important. But we also have to be at an average of 57 over the next 2 years to be eligible to play Tennessee in 2018. So we clearly are going to do that. Plus, I think going into the Southern Conference next year, we need to go out and find some more players, and probably some that have a little bit more age to them than what we've brought in the past. So I would look for our coaching staff to bring in some transfers, both for college, four-year college transfers and JUCOs. So I would expect that to happen. We just need a little bit more age and experience to combat some of the folks that we're going to be playing next year. I had a chance to watch both the men and the women practice a little bit, and I think the expectations are really high. One of the things that has really been exciting to me is we made a decision to add a new position, which we call, I'm not even sure what we call him, but his name's Don Brown, and he really is the strength conditioning, mental toughness coach that we have here. And Don has done an incredible job. If you look at our players' bodies compared to last year, you'll just see dramatic improvement. And I think the way that both teams are going to play, that's going to be an important part of their whole strategy and the way they move forward. The women clearly are, unlike last year, their strength is going to be on the perimeter, and the new players are going to be the inside players. So the women with, I guess Tiana Tarter and Shamaria Bridges and Chandler Christopher, three starters back on the perimeter, are going to be pretty strong on the perimeter. It's going to be how good are we going to be inside, and how quickly our young post players are going to be able to develop. So I think that's going to be the critical piece. But we know the women's team will play with great passion. They'll play as a team. They'll play with enthusiasm, and they'll be a joy to watch, just like they were last year. So we're looking for a good year. And then on the men's side, we brought in 10 new players, so probably we have more new players than any team in the country. But when you look at these guys, you see a lot of athleticism. You see people who have played at a very high level. You see guys that are really committed to making this a great year. I feel that the critical piece of this is going to be how can we kind of how can Coach Forbes put all this together and take athleticism and talent, combine that with old players, new players, youth experience, and kind of make that into a team that is formidable. If you just look at the pieces, I think all the pieces are there. It's just going to be how you can put them together. And as we all know, basketball is a very intricate sport, and sometimes teams just don't gel. I think in watching them practice, they practice with great energy, with great enthusiasm, and with great toughness. And I think that's one of the things that we're really going to emphasize this year. Actually, our mantra, East Tennessee Tough, and I think that's kind of, if you watch the practices, these guys are tough. They've been through an incredibly tough preseason conditioning program with Don Brown. Their practices, they play very, very hard, and so I think you'll see a team that plays completely different than the teams in the last few years. This team is going to be very aggressive defensively, get after people man to man. They're going to pressure the ball, not give up uncontested shots, and really help each other out on defense. So it'll be different from what we've seen in the past. And I think the other thing that's going to be considerably different is just the size. We have some pretty nice size that I think is going to really make a difference for us. Of course, you have Peter Jerkin, 7 foot in the back, and Nigel High, 6'8" or 6'9", and then you've got guys like Benny LaField and Isaac Banks, and who also give us some nice size. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but I think we're going to be big. And then in the front court and then the back court, we clearly have some good players, with Petey coming back. And then, of course, Jelon Ginn is a very good player, transfer from Cincinnati, and DeSante Bradford and A.J. Merriweather, guys from last year, Lester Wilson, those are all names you recognize. And then, you throw in some of the other guys, Shamar Johnson and Deuce Bello. We've got some real athleticism there. And then, another young guy, Toriano Stokes, is a good-sized young man who I think, with the coaching that he's receiving, is going to be a really productive player for us. May not be this year, but somewhere down the road. So this is exciting. And then I think the one thing we're going to, over the next the month of October, we're going to put together 3 events for people to come see both the men's and the women's team, to get to know the players, to get to know the coaches, and I think it's going to be fun. So I think this is going to be a great year in Freedom Hall and in Brooks Gym. So we hope everybody gets their tickets and supports basketball. It's going to be, I think the future is extremely bright in both the men's and women's side. So I really encourage people to get in on the ground level right now, get their tickets, and be a part of the success we're going to have in the future.